When I woke up, something felt wrong. The alarm clock beside my bed was silent. The usual noise from the street, cars rushing, people talking, footsteps on the sidewalk, was gone. There was only a vast, almost painful quiet. At first I thought it was just early morning, but as I opened the window and looked outside, the world was still. Cars stood abandoned in the middle of the street. Shops were open, but no one was inside. Everywhere there were signs of life, but no life itself. I was alone. Completely alone. At first I panicked. I shouted from the window. I ran down the stairs. I called out into the street, but nothing answered me. Not even the echo of my own voice gave comfort. It only reminded me of the emptiness. It was as though the entire human race had disappeared overnight, leaving me behind. Why me? Why was I still here? The first days were strange. After the fear settled, I began to taste the freedom. I walked into supermarkets and took whatever I wanted. Chocolate, wine, fresh bread that no one would ever buy. I walked into expensive clothing stores and dressed myself in suits, in jackets, in hats I would never have worn before. I tried sports cars, motorcycles, everything I once dreamed of. I slept in the most luxurious hotels. I wandered through empty movie theaters, playing films just for myself. The world was mine, completely mine. And in those moments, I laughed. I laughed because there was no one to stop me. I danced in empty plazas, I screamed from rooftops, I sang songs I barely remembered the lyrics to. For the first time in my life, I felt infinite freedom. But freedom, without someone to share it with, is just another kind of prison. As the days became weeks, the silence grew heavier. I spoke to myself constantly just to hear a human voice. I left messages written on walls in chalk on the sidewalks, knowing no one would ever read them. I opened old photo albums and cried when I saw the faces of my family, my friends, people I would never see again. I dreamed of crowded rooms, of voices calling my name. And each morning, I woke up to the silence again. Loneliness is not just the absence of others, it is the slow unraveling of yourself. I began to lose track of time. Days and nights blurred into one. The meals I once enjoyed became tasteless. I started imagining things, footsteps behind me, shadows moving at the edge of my vision. I wasn't sure if I was going mad. Maybe I already was. And then, one night, it happened. I was walking down the street, ready to collapse into despair again, when I saw something I hadn't seen in months. In the window of a tall apartment building, a light turned on, a single, trembling glow in the dark city. My heart stopped. Could it be? Was someone there? Or was this another trick of my imagination? I ran faster than I had ever run before, up the stairs of that building until I stood in front of the door from which the light was shining. I knocked, my voice cracked as I shouted, "Hello, please, someone!" The door opened, and there she was, a woman with cautious eyes and trembling hands. For a moment, neither of us spoke. We only looked, as if afraid that if we blinked, the other would vanish into smoke. And then tears filled both our eyes. We were not alone anymore. Her name was Anna. She had been hiding, surviving, thinking she was the only one left.